So hello student, so last class I have ended up with the concept of partial ordering relation. Then also I have covered a PO set, partially ordered set, and the application of POR in drawing hash diagram. Okay, so this lecture I am going to discuss the concept of function in discrete mathematics. Okay, so let me start with the definition of function. So basically a function is a binary relation from a set A to B, so that every element present in set A has a unique mapping in set B, right? It means all the elements present in set A must be associated with some unique element in set B. So that is called a what? Function. So we call it also a mapping from set A to B, or we also call it is a function from set A to B. Okay, so if this small a represent the elements in set A, and this small b represents the elements of set B, then we will write this b equal to f of a, right? So this elements of set A are known as the input to the function, and the elements of set B are known as the result of the function or the output of the function, right? So B is also known as the image of A, right? So here all the elements of set A are known as a domain of the function, and the elements of set B are known as the range of the function, right? So now let me take an example to define this function in a little bit deeper way, right? So let us consider two sets, set A and set B. A printing mistake is there, right? So set A is having element 1 2 3 4, set B is having element A B C D, right? So now I am defining this relation. So this relation is having how many order pair? 4 order pair, right? So now thing is that not every relation can be called as a function. Okay, so how to verify whether a particular relation is function or not? Okay, so A has already told you a function from A to B will have mapping for all the elements present in set A to set B. Okay, so not mapping, rather I would say it is unique mapping, right? So we can say this is a function because all the elements in set A are related to some element in set B. So this is a function. So thing is that always keep in your mind this left set, that is also known as the domain of the function. So no element they should not be untouched. Okay, so all the elements should be touched, or all the elements should be mapped to some element in set B. Okay, so now in set B elements can remain untouched, okay, or they may not have any pre-image in set A, right? So this R1 is called a function, right? So let us take one more example of relation R2, right? Let us verify whether this is a function or not. So it is 1a, 2b, 3c, 4d, 4e. Okay, so no doubt all the elements of set A are related to some element in set B, or all the elements have some image in set B. But thing is that this element 4 has two images in set B, so it cannot be called as a function, because already I have told you the definition of function, that all the elements of set A must have some image in set B, but that image must be unique image. But B image is not unique because we are having two images, right? One is T, another is E, right? So it is not a function. So let me take one more example, right? So right, so let's say another relation, let's say R2, it is 1a, 2b, 3c, so it will be represented like this. So purely this is not a function because this 4 has no image in set B, right? Now this particular thing, it is a function, right? Because all the elements have some. So 3 has a unique mapping C, 4 has also unique mapping C. Okay, right? So now let us see different types of function, right? So first function is we shall discuss onto function, that is also known as surjective function, right? So a function from set A to B is said to be onto function or surjective function if every element of set B is the image of one or more element in set A. It means a particular function will be called as a surjective function if all the elements in set B have some pre-image in set A. Right. So this particular function, it cannot be called as a what? It cannot be called as a function. Sorry, it cannot be called as a onto function. This is a function, right? But this cannot be called as a onto function because this element C has no pre-image in set A. Again, yes, we can call this as a onto function or surjective function because all the elements ABC have some pre-image in set A, right? So now let us discuss what is one-to-one function, or that is also known as injective function. So a function from set A to B is said to be one-to-one function if no two elements of A have the same image. Okay. So clearly this is not a one-to-one function, right? Why? Because these element 2 and 3 have same image, right? So this is not called a what one-to-one function. Okay. So clearly we can say this is one-to-one function. Okay. So rather we can say it is both one-to-one and onto. Okay, because all the elements in set B have some pre-image in set A. Right. Okay. So right. So now let us see what is a bijective function or bijection. Okay. So a function which is onto or into, sorry, the function which is onto and one-to-one is known as bijective function, right? Means the function which is surjective as well as injective is also known as bijective function or bijection. So we can call this as a what? Bijective function, right? So next we shall go through what is composition of function, right? So basically already I have told you a function is like a computational entity which has some input and which has some output, right? So if we write y equal to f of x, means x is the input to the function or the computational thing, right? And y is the output, right? So now in composition of function, what happens if I am writing y equal to fx, right? And that fx acts as input to another function. Okay, then we call it as what? Composition of function, right? So in composition of function, output of one function will act as the input to another function, then again its output will act as input to another function, and so on. Okay, so depending upon the length of the composition, we can apply that number of functions, right? So for example, we will see this is a composition of two functions. One function is f, another is g. Okay. So f of g of x, in short we also write it as what? F of g. Okay. So it means the output of the function gx will be input to the function fx, right? Similarly, f of x means f of f, g of f of x means g of f, and so on, right? So let me take an example. Fx is given x plus 3 and gx is given x square. Find f of g and g of f. So f of g will be f of g of x. So in place of g of x, you just put x square. So f of x square will be what? X square plus 3, because we know f of x equal to x plus 3. So f of t will be t plus 3. F of p will be p plus 3. So f of x square will be what? X square plus 3, right? So similarly, g of f or g of f, that is equal to g of f of x. So g of, in place of f of x, we can put the value x plus 3, right? So now the value of f of x plus 3 is x plus 3 whole square, because sorry, there is a printing mistake. So it will be what? Actually we are substituting the value of f of x, right? So it is x plus 3, it is right. Okay, it is right, but this is g, right? So g of x plus 3 means it will be what? gx is x square means g of x plus 3 means, so make it is g, yeah, make this as g, right? Okay. So g of x plus 3 means x plus 3 whole square, that is equal to x square plus 6x plus 9, a plus b whole square, right? So this is how we find the composition of function. So here just we are limiting the composition level up to 2, so we can increase the level of composition according to our wish, right? It can be like f of f of f, like, okay. Okay, so now let us see what inverse of function, right? So how to find inverse of a function. Okay, so inverse of a function fx or f is denoted by what? F inverse x, or we write f inverse simply, is a function f inverse, right? So inverse of fx is denoted by this, right? Okay, and if fx is a function and its inverse is f inverse x, then they should satisfy this property, right? F inverse fx is equal to x, like that trigonometric function sine of sine inverse x is x. Okay, so if you are applying the composition of inverse function and the original function, we will be getting the output as x, right? So now we know that y equal to fx, so in place of this fx we can put y, so we can write f inverse y is equal to x, where y equal to fx. Okay, so given any function y equal to fx, right, its inverse will be what? F inverse y. So let us see how to calculate the inverse of any function, right? Okay, so before going to this example, let me tell you how to find inverse of a function, right? So you just write the function, you write in that format y equal to fx, whatever value of fx is given you just write. And after writing that y equal to fx, you just interchange x and y, swap the variables x and y, then you just solve for y, right? And whatever result you will get, it will be in terms of x, that is known as the inverse of fx, right? For example, we are taking this, so we can write y equal to fx equal to this one, so y equal to this one, then we have to interchange x and y, so in place of y it will be x, and x will be replaced by what? Y. Then solve for y, so y, so x equal to y plus 1 by y, so xy equal to y plus 1, cross multiplication, then xy minus y equal to 1, taking y common, x minus 1 equal to 1, so y equal to 1 minus, so this y is called what? Inverse of fx, and that is result is what? 1 by x minus 1, right? So clearly we can verify that f of f inverse x is equal to x, right? So similarly y equal to fx equal to this, you have to find the inverse of y equal to x cube plus 2, just swap x equal to y cube plus 2, so solve for y, right? So that is the answer, right? Okay, so now let's see a few important properties of inverse of functions, right? First property is inverse of function is always unique, right? Next is the inverse function of a bijective function is also bijective. For example, if we are taking a bijective function, means the function which is 1 to 1 and on 2, okay, then its inverse is going to be again bijective, means it is again going to satisfy that property 1 to 1 and on 2. Now the third property is if f and g are two bijective functions from a to b and b to c respectively, so f is a function from a to b and g is a function from b to c respectively, then g of f is also a bijective function, and inverse of this composition g of f is equal to, you just reverse the order, f inverse of g inverse. Next property is if f of g equal to g of f, then we can say f and g are inverse to each other. So f inverse equal to g, or you can say g inverse equal to f, right? Already told you fx equal to y means f inverse y will be what? X. Okay. So now this is the last topic of this unit 1 of your syllabus, that is called pigeonhole principle, right? So now this pigeonhole principle says that if there are m pigeons, and there are n holes, right, such that m is greater than n, means number of pigeon, that is m, is greater than the number of holes n, then there will be at least one hole which will occupy more than one pigeon. It is obvious actually, because you are having lesser number of holes but having more number of pigeons. Okay, so at least one hole will be there which will occupy or which will accommodate more than one pigeon, right? So you just go through the thing. Okay, so now what is the utility of this pigeonhole principle in computer science, right? Example you can take, you want to schedule our semester examination. Okay, and the thing is that a particular semester is having 5 subjects and we are just given 4 days to conduct the examination. So there will be at least one day in which 2 exams has to be conducted, right? And for example, I have 5 pair of dresses, or better I'll say I have 5 number of dresses, right? So in a week, okay, I have to repeat at least one day, right? So I am having how many days? 5 days. So a week is having how many days? 7 days, right? So initial 5 days can be continued with unique dresses, like, but the day number 6 and 7, okay, they has to be repeated. Okay. So this is all about what? Pigeonhole principle. So these are few examples. Okay, you just go through, right? So one more thing actually left, that is called recursive function. So already you know in your first semester that a function which calls itself again and again till some condition is satisfied is known as recursive function, right? And better you can say a function is said to be recursive function if the function can be expressed in terms of itself but with a smaller input, right? For example, we want to write n factorial, so n factorial is equal to n into n minus 1 factorial. So mathematically, if fn is equal to n factorial, so we can write fn is equal to n into f of n minus 1, means n factorial is equal to n into n minus 1, right? Right. So these are very simple recursive algorithm for different problems. Like first one is for factorial of integer, second one is recursive procedure for x power y power, right? Then sum of digits. Okay. So you can just check these things out. Okay, right? So this is all about today's lecture. You just go through all these questions. These questions are really interesting, right? So any problem or any confusion, you can just WhatsApp me, or you can just post your doubt in my Google Classroom, right? So these are all assignments, and I shall be sharing this PDF in my Google Classroom, right? So thank you.